What happened when my family turned on me? I never thought I'd be the kind of person who'd cut off their own family. Growing up, I always believed family was supposed to be your safe place, your fallback, the people who held you up when the world fell apart. But I learned, way too late, that sometimes the people who share your blood can hurt you deeper than any stranger ever could. It all started last Thanksgiving. My mom was hosting it as always. I had just gotten off a 12-hour shift. I'm a paramedic, and I showed up exhausted but happy to be there. I brought a homemade pie, which I baked at 2 a.m. the night before like an idiot, because my mother insisted I bring something from scratch and from the heart. The moment I walked in, I knew something was off. Everyone went quiet, and not the "oh, we didn't hear you come in" quiet. It was the heavy, loaded kind, like I had just interrupted a conversation that was about me. My sister Erin wouldn't look at me. My brother Luke shoved his hands into his pockets. My mom stood at the kitchen island, lips pressed so tight they almost disappeared. My stomach dropped. "Okay, what I walk in on?" I laughed, trying to keep it light. Mom set down the serving spoon. "We know, Daniel." I blinked. "Know what?" Erin crossed her arms. "That you stole Grandma's savings." What? I honestly thought it was some kind of sick joke. I even laughed again, until I realized no one else was. Grandma had passed 6 months earlier, leaving behind a small savings account. Nothing huge, $28,000 total. The money was supposed to be split 4 ways. Me, Erin, Luke, and Mom. Apparently someone had withdrawn the entire thing early and wiped it out, and my family decided it was me. "Why the hell would I do that?" I said, stunned. Luke shrugged. "You're always short on money, your job doesn't pay much, and you're always helping people." He said people like it was a dirty word. I stared at him. "Helping people is literally my job." Erin stepped forward. "We know you were the executor of the will. You had access." I shook my head. "I wasn't the executor. Mom was. I never had the login info. I never even saw the account." Mom's eyes narrowed, like I was personally insulting her. "Are you calling us liars?" "I'm saying you're wrong." Then Mom delivered the final blow. "We checked with the bank. They said it was accessed from your address." I felt like someone had gut punched me. My address, my apartment, someone had opened the account from my connection. "I didn't do it," I said, fighting the rising panic. "Someone must have hacked." Erin cut me off. "You're the only one who would benefit," Luke added. "You're the only one desperate enough." That part hurt. Because yeah, my bills are tight. Paramedics don't earn nearly what people think. I pick up overtime shifts, sleep 4 hours a night, and still barely get by. But I would never steal from my own dead grandmother. And knowing that they all looked at me and saw a thief, it broke something in me. They didn't yell. They didn't argue. They didn't even let me explain. They had already tried, convicted, and sentenced me before I walked in the door. Mom told me to leave her house until I was ready to admit the truth. So I did. I left the pie on the counter, my stupid homemade pie, and walked out. I didn't say goodbye. The part where everything got worse. Over the next few weeks, no one from my family spoke to me. No texts, no calls, radio silence. Then the rumors started. Somehow, people at my station started hearing about it. Someone in the family had told someone, who told someone else, who told someone's cousin, who knew someone at the firehouse. I heard whispers before shifts. I caught people giving me pitying looks. One guy actually asked me, "Dude, did you really steal from your dead grandmother?" That was the moment I realized my family didn't just mistrust me, they wanted me to feel the consequences. They wanted people to know what a disappointment I was. So I did the only thing I could. I hired a lawyer, not to sue them, not out of revenge, but because I needed proof I wasn't the one who emptied the account. 3 weeks later, I got it. The IP used wasn't from my device. Yeah, it came from my building, but from the tenant Wi-Fi the apartment complex shares for the laundry room. Anyone could hop onto it. My lawyer found out who actually did it. It was my cousin Dylan, the same cousin who had lived in my building's basement suite for 2 months after getting kicked out by his parents. The same cousin my mom bailed out financially at least twice. The same cousin who my sister defended every time he screwed something up. I brought everything to my family. Screenshots, lawyer letters, security timestamps, logs, proof. I thought they'd apologize. I thought they'd feel bad. They didn't. Mom crossed her arms. "So, you still caused this. If you had more stable finances, Dylan wouldn't have felt so hopeless. He wouldn't have been tempted." Erin said, "You made yourself look guilty." Luke muttered, "You're just doing this to avoid taking responsibility for how you made everyone feel." I realized then that the truth did not matter. Not to them. They needed me to be the screw-up of the family. It kept the balance intact. It kept everyone else feeling superior. So that night, I made a decision. I cut them off completely. I blocked every number, every social media account. I changed my lock screen, my routines, everything. I even switched apartments 2 months later to get away from the laundry room Wi-Fi mess. For the first time in my life, I put up a boundary and meant it. The part where I finally felt free. It's been a year. A full, quiet, peaceful year. It took a while to adjust. It's weird not having holiday plans. It's weird not getting dragged into family drama. It's weird being free. I've slept better this year than I have in a decade. No 2 a.m. guilt trips from mom. No early morning calls from Aaron demanding help moving. No texts from Luke, asking for just a little loan until Friday. My life is boring, stable, calm. I didn't realize how addicted my family was to chaos until I stepped out of it. Sometimes, I still think about that Thanksgiving, about how quickly they turned on me, about how little my word meant compared to their assumptions. But I also think about something my captain said to me one night after a tough shift. Family isn't who shares your blood, it's who shares your burdens. And for the first time, I'm building that kind of family, slowly, quietly, intentionally. I don't miss the old one anymore, not even a little. If you want, I can write a part 2, where the family tries to come crawling back or face consequences for what they did. You said, yes, a part 2 please. ChatGPT said, here is part 2, the moment your family tries to crawl back, and exactly what happens next. Written in the same long, realistic Reddit story style as part 1. Part 2, when they tried to come crawling back. It happened almost exactly 1 year after I cut them off. I was at my apartment, finishing a 48-hour shift. I had just microwaved leftovers and was ready to collapse onto the couch when someone knocked on my door. Hard. Not the polite tap tap, not the package delivery. The kind of knock that says, I'm not leaving until you answer. I checked the peephole. It was my brother Luke. I sighed so hard my shoulders dropped. I debated not answering. I really did. But I knew if I ignored him, he'd come back. Or worse, bring the whole family next time. So I opened the door, just enough to stand in the frame. He looked older, more tired. He'd put on weight, his cheeks puffy like he wasn't sleeping well. He smiled awkwardly. Hey man, I kept my hand on the door. What do you want? He looked past me like he expected to be invited in. I didn't move. I wanted to talk. About. He hesitated. I didn't help him. Finally, he exhaled. Mom's in the hospital. I froze for half a second, and he must have taken that as sympathy, because he quickly added, she had a heart scare. They said it wasn't a heart attack, but it was close. I waited. Luke frowned. Aren't you going to ask how she's doing? No. He blinked, confused. What? No. Luke, I'm not going to ask. And before you launch into whatever speech you practiced in the car, just say whatever you came here to say. He swallowed hard. Mom wants to see you. There it was. The thing they always fall back on. Obligation. Guilt. Duty. Family. No, I said immediately. He looked genuinely offended. Dude, she's your mother, and I'm her son. The son she called a thief. The son she told to leave her house. The son she refused to apologize to, even when proven wrong. She's sick. He tried again. And that magically erases everything she did? I asked. He didn't answer. Luke, I said, I don't operate on emotional blackmail anymore. Tell her I'm glad she's not dead. That's all you're getting. He inhaled sharply, like he couldn't believe I'd actually said it. You've changed, he muttered. I grew up, I corrected. Before he could respond, a voice echoed down the hall. Daniel? I closed my eyes. Aaron. She stepped out from around the corner. She'd clearly been hiding there listening. She rushed forward, arms open, like she thought this was some kind of movie moment where we'd reconcile in the rain. I stepped back instantly. Don't hug me. She froze. I came because I want to make things right. No, I said, but you haven't even heard. No. She threw her hands up. Why are you being so stubborn? We're trying. We're reaching out. We're making the first move. Because you think I owe you gratitude for finally noticing you burned the bridge. I said, no, you don't get points for basic decency, Aaron. She glared. We're family. That word means nothing coming from any of you. Luke stepped forward, frustration turning into anger. Okay, fine. You're mad. You're hurt. We get it. But you've punished us long enough. It's time to let it go. I laughed. Actually laughed. Punished you. You think me walking away from your toxicity is punishment. That's how warped your thinking is. Aaron's eyes were getting watery. Just come see Mom. She needs you. No, I said again, calm this time. But I do hope she recovers. They both looked stunned at how unaffected I was. And then I asked the question I knew they didn't want to answer. Why now? They exchanged a glance. Luke broke first. We need help. There it was. The real reason. Financial help, I asked. Even though I already knew. He nodded. Turns out Mom's hospital bills weren't fully covered. Aaron's husband had been laid off for months. Luke's hours got cut. And Dylan, the cousin who actually stole the money, he'd gotten arrested for credit card fraud. Again, chaos, as always. And without me, the reliable one, the responsible one, the one who always had it together, their entire system had finally collapsed. For the first time, My absence had cost them something. Many things, actually. Luke shifted uncomfortably. We just thought that I'd swoop in. I finished. Save the day like always. Patch up the mess. That's what family does, Aaron whispered. No, I said, shaking my head. That's what I did. None of you ever did the same for me. They looked stunned, like the thought had never crossed their minds. Then I said it. I'm not your crutch anymore. Aaron's face crumpled. So you're really just going to walk away? I walked away a year ago. You're just now noticing. Luke's jaw clenched. Mom's going to be devastated. She devastated me first. Silence. And then, because I wanted closure, not revenge, I added, I don't hate you, I just don't trust you, and I don't have room in my life for people who see me as a tool instead of a person. Erin wiped her eyes. Luke stared at the floor. I stepped back inside. Before closing the door, I said the last thing I will ever say to them. I hope you all get the help you need, truly. But it's not coming from me. I shut the door, locked it, walked away. I didn't cry, I didn't feel guilt, I didn't doubt myself. For the first time in my life, I felt untouchably calm, and that's when I finally realized I wasn't the broken one, I was the healed one. They just didn't like the person I became without them.